right now.
And now, Channel 3 News at 11 with Russ Mitchell and Chris Pickle.
A second day of dangerous heat is headed our way. Get ready for temperatures to once again rocket into the 90s. And good evening, I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Lynna Lai. Chris has the night off. We are getting our first real taste of the scorching summer heat this week, and people need to be careful.
Channel 3's Jennifer Lindgren begins our team coverage on the warnings about staying cool. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Russ. You know, many people who work outside probably wish they could under these conditions when it's dark and a little bit cooler out. But that's hardly the situation in Cleveland this week. And tomorrow morning, construction workers will be back on scene working against the heat the way everybody seems to be doing this week. When the sun beats down this hard, the heat can not only be uncomfortable,
I think it's way above normal.
It can be downright dangerous.
Animals in a hot car is a bad idea, especially this time of year.
Brunswick Animal Control Officer Mike Kellums is already getting reports of dogs left in cars and parking lots. He says cracking the window and parking in the shade isn't enough, even for 5 minutes.
They cool themselves by breathing. Whatever the temperature of the air inside is, that's what they're cooling themselves with.
When it's 90 out, the temperature inside the car can reach 120 degrees.
That dog can become incapacitated. Brain functions can stop.
His advice, if it's warmer than 70, leave the pets at home.
It's more of just an ignorance, and I don't use that in a bad way. It's just they don't realize, maybe they think they're only going to be gone 5 minutes, and they end up being gone maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Working outside is risky too. The Ohio Department of Transportation has people trained to look for signs of heat stroke. Coolers of water are kept at construction sites, and crew members are allowed to take breaks when needed. And at Edgewater Park, we found many people postponing their workout until late in the evening.
Oh, did you enjoy the water?
Yeah. And many more simply surrendering to the heat.
Down to Edgewater, the best location in the nation right now.
Now, it's never a bad idea to keep one of these with you if you're out on a hot day. Just a bottle of water for you and for your pets. Something I always do when I'm out reporting on a hot day. Remember to keep cool this week. Keep cool and cool off. And to that end, we've posted a list of the cooling centers around town over on WKYC.com. Russ, Lena?
All right, Jen, thanks a lot. By the way, they're open from noon until 8. All right, Jen, you stay cool and stay inside. It is now about 11:04 and it's still 83 degrees outside.
Yikes.
So just what can we expect tomorrow?
Let's send it outside to Chief Meteorologist Betsy Kling. Betsy?
A quick clarification, a official heat wave is 3 days or more of 90-degree temperatures, and we're going to be very close to setting a heat wave as we go through the next couple days. Today, we made it to 91, and already we're cooled back into the 80s in downtown Cleveland. Look at the 70s inland. We will stay very mild as we head through the night tonight, and we are anticipating, of course, another hot day tomorrow. 91 today's official high at Hopkins and Akron Canton, 89 Mansfield. Hopkins missed today's record high by 1 degree. Akron Canton missed by 3. Mansfield missed by 5. So as we take a look ahead to tomorrow, which would be our second day of 90-degree heat, this is where the records stand as of right now for the day tomorrow. Notice the years for Cleveland and Mansfield. The highs in the middle 90s in 1988. If you were in Northeast Ohio in 1988, you know why that is significant. That was one of those big, nasty years of a significant drought all across the Midwest. You get that dry, you get extreme highs and extreme lows. Obviously, we are pretty dry, and that is certainly not helping things out. There is some relief on the way. We'll talk more about that, and we'll talk about those record high possibilities for tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Betsy. Well, despite the heat, they were cleaning up in Norwalk from yesterday's powerful storms. Volunteers went door to door today, helping homeowners pick up the debris from all the downed trees.
Here's what else is happening. New at 11, the entire town of Chagrin Falls is under a boil alert because of this, a water main break at East Washington and Main Streets. Crews are busy trying to fix it, but in the meantime, be sure to boil your water.
We are learning more about why a judge reduced the jail sentence of a Parma doctor who sexually assaulted his patients.
That decision sparked outrage from both the prosecution and many of our viewers. Dan Haggerty now joins us with details. Dan?
Hey, good evening, guys. We're getting a lot of emails. We're getting comments on our Facebook page. People upset about this. It was in 2004 when more than 100 women came forward, and this OBGYN was charged, rather on this side, was charged with rape and sexual assault on his patients. Now, the same judge who sentenced him has changed her decision without explanation and says he'll be out in less than 3 years. Posts on our WKYC Facebook page leave little to interpretation. Denise Williams-Bly calling the ruling outrageous and a slap on the wrist. Mary Oster asked, "Where's justice for the patients he abused?" And Meadow Kohler wrote, "Wonder what the judge's reasoning was." Questions Judge Shirley Saffold never answered, even in the face of a smirking Dr. Azam Ahmed and a furious prosecution.
I think the word would be stunned. I want to bring it back to where this is about. This case is actually about the victims.
Dr. Ahmed sexually assaulted dozens of women over a 25-year career as an OBGYN. Here he is being sentenced to 45 years in prison in 2004. Does the judge look familiar? Here she is explaining her ruling.
As a medical doctor, I think has just displayed the absolute worst violation of trust that could ever occur.
Then, 2 years later, he's resentenced after an appeal. Again, Saffold gives him 45 years, and his attorneys appeal once more. Then today, with no change in the evidence, Judge Saffold changed her ruling from 45 years to 11 with 9 years already served. She wouldn't tell me why or anyone else.
This whole thing has been reopened for no reason. I don't know why. So I don't know if you're trying to get a soundbite out of me, but what is going on here is outrageous.
And now, as you can imagine, it's the prosecution's turn to appeal, and believe me, they will. If the current ruling stands, Ahmed will be out in 2.5 years. That's not even 1 year for each of his victims.
All right, Dan Haggerty, thanks a lot. A cross-country drug operation is busted in Akron, and 2 SWAT officers were shot during the raid. It all happened this morning at the home of Darren Wright. Police say 2 men in California would hollow out engine blocks, fill them with cocaine, and ship them to Massey & Sons Automotive in Akron. Then the suspects would sell the drugs and ship the money back in the same trucks. 12 people are now facing charges for trafficking more than 100 kilos of cocaine. The 2 officers who were shot at were not hurt.
It all began when Eric noticed his business credit cards were used at places he had never been. Small amounts of cash from their Medina home were missing as well. This all was happening after the couple had taken in an 18-year-old who was down on his luck. They had the extra bedroom, and some friends had vouched for the young man.
And we were trying to do the right thing for him.
When they discovered the credit card theft, the police were called and Seth Baylor was arrested. But in checking through their house, they also found a lot of jewelry missing. Some of them personal items like high school class rings.
There was a gold bracelet which belonged to my father, which was a hand-me-down after he passed away.
Police quickly found the stolen jewelry at Cashland in Medina, a business licensed by the state to buy and sell gold and silver. But to get their jewelry back, the Wentzes were told they would have to buy it back from Cashland.
Cashland said, "Don't you have insurance, and we want restitution."
In all, it'll likely cost the couple about $1,500 to buy their jewelry back, the amount Cashland for the teenager. Cashland and Medina declined comment.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Tom.
Many wonder why these metal dealers and pawnbrokers get a pass when it comes to their role in the thievery.
If you have a credit card which is compromised, you're not held liable for those transactions which you identify as being fraudulent.
State law allows the metal dealers and pawnbrokers to get paid for the merchandise they bought, even if it is stolen. But one state rep wants to make it a little more difficult to fence stolen jewelry. His bill would increase the time Ohio metal dealers have to hold on to things they've purchased from the current 5 days to 15.
By extending that period to 15 days, it just makes it a little more manageable for law enforcement.
For Eric Wentz, state laws shouldn't be more important than moral obligations in cases like this.
I would hope that an organization like Cashland would want to do the right thing and return what is rightfully ours.
When we first got involved, both the Cashland store and Medina police advised the Wentzes they would have to buy back their stolen jewelry once the case was over. But Cashland's corporate office in Texas said it's company policy to return stolen goods to the rightful owner if the thief is convicted. This may be their policy, but it's clear some of their store employees aren't aware of it or choose to ignore it. I'm investigator Tom Meyer, Channel 3 News.
Coming up, dangerous shopper what a man was trying to cook up while shopping at a suburban Walmart.
Plus, Candy Bandit, a thief with a sweet tooth for Reese's Cups, is eluding workers at a local gas station.
Well, we've been talking about how warm it's been. Now, how warm is it going to be? I'll have those details straight ahead in your forecast.
Also, firefighter trouble. New charges could be coming against local firefighters in a huge pay scandal.
And frisky flyer, a passenger headed to Cleveland in trouble for groping a TSA worker.